Today on Dark Holes, we're looking at Are Tits Back? For real. Camino Real, the dealership, the Chevrolet dealership, has me juicing. We're going to be looking at some thirsty thirst traps, all on Dark Holes. Oh yeah, we're covering some OnlyFans chicks too. OnlyFans boxing match. Don't forget about that. Tits are back. I mean, that's what everyone's saying. People are saying tits are back. People are saying that tits are overthrowing ass. And you know what? I actually do agree with it. But I think what everyone is ignoring is what are the greater ramifications of tits being back. It's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different culture that will be built off of tits coming back. Because let's go back. Let's go back to the insurgence of ass. Let's go back to the insurgence of tits. So we go to like the mid 80s, and you have Playboy, you have Pam Anderson, you have all these tit-focused things that are like popping up. It's a very tit-focused society. No one's even considering the ass. It's all about bimbos with big curly hair, mostly blondes. The occasional brunette can get in, and then, I don't know, it's the 80s, so like, if you're black or Asian, good luck. Good luck in getting the cover of something. But you were still hot. You were still hot. You still are hot. But anyways, the focus is, it was like, in America at least, you had a lot of white chicks with big tits being the front facing of the culture. And that was just the way it was up until the late 90s, early 2000s. That's when you're having like the Anna Nicole Smith, you have Pam Anderson, you have Carmen Electra. And this is when the tit job is really revving up. They're really putting a lot of gas behind the tit job. The tit job wasn't something that was being hidden. People were being open about their tits being done. But then the tit job was going to like 10x. And then if you're looking at what's happening with ass right now, the exact mimicking of the situation where you got overdone tit jobs, tits were getting too big. And then you also had there was a whole documentary about tit jobs going wrong and women ruining the breasts forever. Now, I don't know if it's to the same extent with the ass jobs and the BBLs that's going on today, but you have an overdoneness, an overcooked of ass that's happening currently in the culture. So you get like an oversaturation. There was too many tits. There's too many tit jobs. The tits got too big. And the same thing's happening with ass right now. The asses are getting too big. There's too much. And people are almost there. I got no more ass to eat. I don't want to eat any more ass. I've been only eating ass. So then when you see what happens in the like mid 2000s, you start to see the tits get faded out. Like subtly, there was still a lot of tit focused people that were front facing, but you start to see the like birth and dominance of rap culture with the young generation. And of course, rap videos are putting ass on the map like never before. They're making all the young kids gobble up ass. They want, give me a little ass, mom and dad. I need ass in the morning to get my day started. That's what they wanted. But it was still something that was only really consumed by the younger generations. The young millennials were the ones who were like, we need ass. I want my girlfriend to have ass. Ass is what's cool and what's in. Raps told me ass is cool. Mom and pop at home, working a 9 to 5, getting in late, they didn't give a shit about ass. They did the concept of ass being something that you should be putting out there front facing. Didn't even cross their fucking minds until Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez brought ass from a subculture, which was as popular as it was and as much money as it was making, was a subculture to middle-class America and the older, the boomers, the Gen Xers. That was what's going on with this rap music? These girls are shaking their booties. Jennifer Lopez brought ass onto Entertainment Tonight. You had mom and dad watching TV before they went to sleep, and now there's a chick on there who's super famous, dating Ben Affleck, and her ass is all they're talking about. Now the concept of ass being a front-facing thing that you should be building and sharing and is a point of attraction is huge in the minds of the public. Ass starts to be like, okay, ass is real. Ass is real, and that's when the shift starts to happen. That's when you start to have the Kim K's. That's when you start to have these other ass-focused celebrities. Nicki Minaj, all these people. It's just a train of ass person after ass person after ass person. And don't get me wrong, of course there was still tit celebrities. You still have Kate Upton in this era, but you are a fool if you don't say that ass wasn't dominating. Ass was dominating from like the not starting in the mid 2000s, but it started in the mid 2000s, but it wasn't dominating in the mid 2000s. But starting in the mid 2000s, then like the 2010s, it's all ass. It's entire ass era. It's all about ass. All about ass. Like I said, there was some still tit focused people, but they were a dime. They were not a dime a dozen. Whatever the opposite of a dime a dozen is. There was a few and far between. That's what it is. So you're having this ass domination, and so then what happens? When the ass domination happens, you have all these people being like, okay, all these chicks being like, well, now I need an ass. I need an ass. How do I get an ass? This is pre-BBL. How do I get an ass? I go to the gym. You can grow an ass in the gym. That's when you start to see white chicks with booty. That was a whole new thing. The whole thing about white chicks in the 2000s was that they didn't have ass. That was the biggest up that any Latina and black chick had on the white chicks. And the white chicks were like, we're going to start doing the hip thrust. We're going to start squatting. We're going to start doing RDLs, and we're going to grow asses. There's whole ass growing programs now that influencers are building their entire brand off of. So it's like, we're going to grow the ass. We're going to grow the ass. And you go, okay. These chicks start growing ass. Changes the culture. So what is born out of chicks going to the gym and growing the ass? The muscle mommy. So the ass focused culture, the ass shift, didn't just make people more interested in ass. It gave birth to a new genre of hot chick. Just like how chicks playing video games made the e-girl, and now you have a different type of hot chick being born, you have ass-wanting chicks going to the gym and making the muscle mommy. So what people aren't talking about with tits, the tit-shifting society, is what's going to happen? Are we just going to have the bimbo again? That was the last tit-focused identity or genre of hot chick. So are we going to have a whole new genre of hot chick who is born out of a tit-focused society? That's what no one's talking about. What is it? What is it? What are we going to get? What are we going to get? That's what I'm most excited about. Because you can't stop it. I'm an ass guy. And seeing ass kind of fade, seeing it start to go out of style, seeing tits coming back, it's sad, but I had my time. And it's also like, it's not like ass won't exist. It's just less chicks are going to be working on their ass in the same way. And also, Instagram did trick us a little bit into thinking that all white chicks had ass now. I live in New York. I don't live too far from NYU. And I see like skinny college chicks walking around. They still don't have ass. They still don't got it, dude. Not like that. Got to go up to Washington Heights, find the Latina chicks because they got the fucking ass on them. God damn. Latina women are probably the best of all time. But something else that people aren't talking about. Same thing that happened in rap and rock and roll. There was like a shift. I remember reading articles that said rap or hip hop, it was one of the two, is now the most listened music in America. It surpassed rock and roll, or rock and roll has faded, or whichever way it went. And everything has its time. Everything is circular. Everything moves on. Jazz was the most popular for a bit. So there was that shift. But in the middle of that shift, something happened. EDM, electronic music, dubstep took hold of the culture for probably about like 2 years, maybe 3 years. You have David Guetta. You have Skrillex. You have Steve Aoki, who were like the biggest hits were all songs from these dudes. When I was like in my first year of college, I saw fucking Skrillex in a tiny club in Victoria, British Columbia. And then the next year he was doing stadiums. It was a huge shift. You had people like Nicki Minaj making songs like Super Bass. Everyone had like a dubstep drop in their song for like a year to 2 years. It was the thing. And so just like how, and then of course, electronic music is still extremely popular, but it's not top of the pops. It's not top of the charts. So just like you have, while this shift happens, it's going to leave a gap in the center for something to sneak through. And I am calling it right now. It's going to be the feet people. The feet people are going to come to the forefront. You're seeing, look at your memes now. The confidence that is coming through on feet people right now, how confident they are with being like, oh, I like feet. I suck on feet. I saw a meme, made me laugh, where it was a girl comparing the size of her of a burrito to her foot. And then there was a water bottle there. And then someone wrote, if I was on death row, this would be my last meal. That was hilarious. That's hilarious. But it's someone being confident about being like, I want to suck on that foot. I want to taste that foot. The feet people used to hide in the shadows like freaks. And now they're out and about. There's open celebrities are openly talking about how they want to suck on toes. The feet, apparently they're the most popular fetish. So they're among us all the time. If you're the same thing with herpes, where it's like 1 in 4 people have herpes, probably 1 in 3 people want to suck your toes. If you're wearing open-toed shoes on the subway, some dude is looking at your feet and then taking a mental photograph and going home and jerking off to them later. That's what's going on. But the feet people, I swear to God, on the cover of like Maxim magazine or something, you're going to see something that is a foot-focused image. Some chick's gonna have both her feet in there with like the white tips, and she's gonna have like her knees up to her chest, so it's like mostly like the feet, or you don't even see the tits really. You're not seeing the ass. It's all gonna be foot-focused stuff. The feet people are gonna take center stage while ass and tits are battling it out. I'm putting my bottom dollar on it right now. Anyways, guys, this is Dark Holes. You might be wondering, what is Dark Holes? Dark Holes is my podcast. It's my podcast. Now, what is the theme of the podcast? The theme is dark holes. We're going to be diving into a whole bunch of different dark holes. And I'm kind of going to, it'll shift over time. What that means, what a dark hole means, will probably grow as the podcast grows. But right now, I'm kind of breaking into 3 categories. We have one, which is like subcultures, dark subcultures people aren't talking about, like ass versus tits. You're not getting that on the mainstream media. They won't touch it. They're too scared. Then we have like subculture personalities, people I'm finding on the internet, scrolling on Instagram, people that grab my eye that I go, who is this person? Thirdly, you, the listener, you at home. You are a dark hole. You have dark secrets. You have little questions you want to ask me. You have stuff that you need advice on. You have things you've been hiding from the public. Those are dark holes. Those are going to be the 3 sections of dark holes starting. That's how we're going to start out. And so let's get into it. So something I really wanted to get into, that this is kind of old news, but of course this is the first episode of the pod, so there's some things that I've wanted to cover and I've wanted to talk about that I haven't gotten the opportunity to talk about yet. And one of them, it was the OnlyFans boxing match between Elle Brooke and Paige Van Zandt. If you don't know these 2 personalities, Elle Brooke is a pretty powerhouse porn star. She got her kickoff in OnlyFans. Then she's been very big in internet culture. There was a video of Dylan Dennis choking her unconscious at like a party. He's like, "Hey, put me in a not triangle choke, a rear naked choke." Choked her unconscious. That got like 100 million views. She also does like if you go look her up, hardcore porn. We're not talking like some OnlyFans chicks are doing just solo stuff. Maybe they're just doing some dildos. No, this chick's getting blown out. Anal, cum shots, all the gangbang type scenarios. Interracial. She's not racist, which is great. We love that. But she's a full-on porn star who also does like celebrity influencer boxing type shit. I think she's like 4-1 or something, but she is fighting like the same thing that every other influencer boxer is doing, is like fighting a grappler who was in MMA, and now they're setting up a fight in between them because it's kind of a different territory, which is what we got with this Paige Van Zandt fight. If you guys don't know who Paige Van Zandt is, Paige Van Zandt is a former UFC fighter who left the UFC. I don't know if she started an OnlyFans immediately, but then she went over to Bare Knuckle FC. By then, she for sure had an OnlyFans. So then she did some bare knuckle boxing. I believe she lost 2 bare knuckle boxing fights. She was fine in the UFC, but was always kind of the hot chick in the UFC, which, much to comedy standards, being the hot chick in that space, not the hardest thing to do. But you get a few extra points bumped up for being hot in a space where everyone is not. So she is also big on OnlyFans. The 2 of them, I guess, just being hot chicks, doing combat sports, and OnlyFans. A lot of crossover. They're both blondies as well. It kind of makes sense that they were going to eventually clash, that they were eventually going to butt heads. So they do. And they do this big lead up. They do this big lead up to the fight where they're doing all this trash talk and they're doing all these interviews where they're like, oh, what do you have to say about her? And Elle is saying about Paige, I think she's over the hill. I think she's done. I think she's washed up. And Paige is like, you're not a real fighter. It's kind of embarrassing that you're trying to come into our sport and da-da-da. And they're really shitting on each other. They're really building this tension of the two of them as enemies, which I'm like, I'm fine with. Like, let's go. Let's sell this fight, okay? Then they have the fight. Paige gets dropped in the first round. Just dropped. Gets back up. Fight ends as a draw. 5-round fight, 2-minute rounds. I actually watched the whole fight today. It was honestly a good fight. I watch a lot of combat sports, and I like fighting in any form that it's in. I'll watch a dog fight a chicken. I swear to God, I like any. Give me a street fight video of a few drunk dudes fighting on ice, punching each other, flopping around all over the place. That's one good thing about fighting, is fighting doesn't need to be good and technical to be entertaining. It can be the worst horror show. Give me a bouncer slapping around a 19-year-old kid. It's his first time drinking, but he doesn't know how to act right. And he takes his head and slams it into a door as he pushes him out of a bar. That stuff is great to me. That stuff is real entertainment. If that stuff was more popular, I wouldn't have a job because everyone else would be drinking that shit up all the time. But back to my point. Their fight was decent. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. They actually went out there. They swung the entire time. They really tried to beat the fuck out of each other. No one got too hurt. It was a draw. It ends in a draw. Which is like a very uneventful. But it also wasn't. It didn't seem like it was like rigged to be a draw. It did actually seem like it kind of ended in a draw, which is upsetting. You kind of want one to beat the other. It's I think more embarrassing for Paige because she is a former MMA fighter, but. Both of these girls, their bread and butter is OnlyFans. They're making most of their cash on OnlyFans. So why, at the end of this fight, when they're doing the interview, and they're being very nice to each other at the end of this, by the way. They're both being like, oh, they're like, do you think you won the fight? And neither of them was like, oh, I beat the fuck out of her. They were like, yeah, you kind of got to watch the tape back to see, I knocked her down in the first round, but she was coming on strong in the late rounds. Like, they were just both being very nice at the end, which is fine. That's fine. Be nice. But they should have been even nicer. You both do OnlyFans. The only logical way for this fight to end, which was basically just a promo for both of your OnlyFans, because that's where you're making the cake, is you kiss. You kiss at the end, and then you do a collaboration on OnlyFans. Fucking duh. How that didn't happen. How this fight didn't end with a wet, sloppy kiss from the two of them, both sweaty, in their boxing gear, just making out live on DAZN. The fact that it didn't end like that is the biggest missed marketing opportunity that I could ever fucking think of. That's it. You build it all the way, and then you go, by the way, now the real fight starts with the two of us beating up each other's pussies behind a paywall on OnlyFans. It just upset me. It upset me that ended in that way. For one, I would love to see the two of them fuck. It would be great. They're both got fit bodies. Paige seems like she's a little gooier than Elle. Elle is like a little bit more of a stone body. You can see the abs popping through. She's got that thing where she's got like such little body fat that you can see like the perfect outline of her tit job. When the tits, you can see exactly where real body and fake tits starts. It's a perfect circle because there's such little body fat resting on her body. She also has like a perfect straight line of teeth. If she bit you, they might not be able to track it back because so many people. Is that a thing? That's what I'm wondering. Like before, I don't know if you guys have seen like CSI and stuff like that. Sometimes in those shows, they would be like, your dental records, we pulled them up, and we see that you bit this person in a fight before they died, and you are the killer. Like stuff like if you've had veneers put in, and they go check the dental records, and they're like, oh, this is a veneer bite. It's like, can we even trace it back to you? Because how many people got veneers? But also, if you're a suspect in a crime, how many people have veneers in that crime? Also, just keep your teeth. Actually, some people got fucked up teeth. Some people need that shit. Also, looked at both of their OnlyFans. I got that shit here. I will say, like, of course, Elle is the porn star. Elle's the porn star. Paige, MMA fighter, gone porn star. I'm sure both of them are making, I think Elle's probably making somewhere between $500K to $1 million a month on OnlyFans. She's a big player in the space, and I wouldn't be surprised if Paige is in between 200 and 400K on OnlyFans, except for what the tax man takes. I just wanted to compare some stats here. So we have Paige Van Zandt. She says on her OnlyFans, is queen of OnlyFans, $10 a month. No deals or anything right now. She has 973 posts and then 1,830 pieces of media. I'm dyslexic as fuck, guys. So whenever I'm doing reading or numbers, whoa, prepare for a ride. That's the deal, which is like, okay, that's a decent amount of content. She has links to her Snapchat and YouTube and all this other stuff. So Snapchat, I'm sure you're getting some nudes and shit over there, but I bet you have, that's another subscription service you're going to pay for if you want that. But let's go over to Elle Brooks. We got Elle Brooks, $6 for 31 days. So this is already a better value in terms of how much you're paying monthly. You're getting, so the description on Paige just says like OnlyFans Queens. It says she's like kind of hot and sexy and whatever. Elle Brooks puts it right on the front place. The only place you can give me an orgasm. That's her tagline at the start. Already, come on, guys. Like, you're fucking hooking me in. She's got boy, girl, threesomes, anal, huge squirt. Huge, she says. Huge, the claims of her squirt. You realize how big a huge squirt is? I don't know if you guys remember Cytheria, but she would blast juice out of her pussy. Like, it was fucking insane. She was like a fire hose. That was the first chick I ever saw squirt in my whole life, and it blew my fucking mind, man. It blew my mind. I thought that's how every chick could squirt. Like, literally could hit, I would put at least 10 yards on it. At least 10 yards, maybe 15, but it would go far as fuck. And then when you learn that it's like most chicks just kind of dribble out and some chicks don't even squirt, it kind of just like brings you back to reality and you realize there's not as much beauty in the world. And then when people start calling it piss, that's just, we'll talk about that another day. We'll talk about, maybe we do that after this. I don't know. Okay, we're not going into ad just yet. There's going to be a Patreon. We're doing Patreon, guys. Let's just go into the fucking Patreon promo. Okay, we're going to Patreon promo. Guys, this episode is sponsored by Patreon. Not the Patreon platform itself, but of course, there will be a Patreon for this podcast. Now, what do you get? What do you get if you join the Patreon, guys? You're going to get an extra ep. Boom. That's already the added value there is crazy. You're going to get access to the Discord. You're going to get episodes without ads. You're also going to get, I can't remember what all the things are. I think it was early releases. Yeah, I think it's going to release a day early. Get a day early release also. Actually, I don't know if we're going to keep doing that. This is all we're figuring out as we go, guys. But you have, what I can guarantee you'll get is an extra ep, access to the Discord, and ad-free episodes. And that's for just $5 a month. There's only a 5-tier level right now. We're going to add a $20 tier level later that will, everything that's in the 5-tier will stay in the 5-tier. Nothing is ever going to be paywalled out of there. But we're going to add extra shit later. And then if you want to support it at an even higher level, you can. But for $5 a month, not bad. And I have calculated that to make this podcast carbon neutral, to make it a carbon neutral podcast, I need, I believe it was 236 patrons. If we can get to 236 patrons, then this podcast is paying for itself. And then it's pretty good. Because right now I'm just spending money on it. Just spending cash. Which is, hey, that's how life works. Anyways, let's go back. Last thing added on Elle Brooks' thing here, because we were going over that. Roleplay and fantasy. This is everything you get with her platform. Now, let's compare again the numbers. Paige Van Zandt, it's $3 more a month. Actually, $4 more a month, because this is a flat 6. This is $9.99. You're getting 973 posts, 1,830 pieces of media, okay? Over here, with Elle Brooks, $6, $4 less. That's a fucking 40% savings. You're getting full penetration and way crazier shit going down in terms of porn. You're getting 3,851 posts and 16,015 pieces of media. What? So even if it was a draw in the boxing ring, I know who's winning the OnlyFans match. I know who's bringing the value to the table and to my cock. It's fucking Elle Brooks. For sure. Shout out to Elle Brooks. I've jerked off to you many times. She's not, this isn't sponsored by either of them. None of them have influenced me in any way to talk about them on this podcast. But I felt inspired to. I felt like I needed to share that with you guys, where you guys can get a good wank in, you know? Okay. So that was the OnlyFans boxing match. It did get me going. It got me going pretty fucking good. Now let's see. What is next on the list? Oh, yeah. The Camino Real Chevrolet girls. I don't know if you guys have been seeing this on TikTok, Instagram, all the platforms. Let me get a sip of this Celsius. Also, I'm just slurping back Celsius. I was thinking about what my favorite flavors of Celsius are, and I was like, oh, they're probably watermelon and grape. And then I was like, is the racial profiling working? Are some stereotypes true? Is racism, this type of racism, real? The fried chicken shit is bullshit, okay? People, them being like, black people love fried chicken. Who the fuck doesn't like fried chicken? Everyone fucking gobbles that shit up. That's why KFC is a successful chain. Everyone gobbles it up. But this, the watermelon Celsius and the grape Celsius being my favorite flavors. I didn't even get watermelon and grape. The other one I got was the wild berry, which is also a good one. Because I didn't want to get watermelon and grape together because it wouldn't be like a fucking walking caricature of a black person. But the watermelon one is fucking delicious, dude. Also, there's some that they have no fizz, which every time I drink one of those, I'm like, oh, fucking disgusting. It needs the fizz. The fizz is what feels like that. It psychologically makes me feel like I'm getting power. These things jack me up. Okay. So we're talking about the Camino Real Chevrolet girls. So I don't know if you guys have seen this on all the apps, all the platforms. The Camino Real Chevrolet girls are doing what a lot of other brands have done, which is those like transition videos. You have the chick who's standing on or the dude who's like standing on the water pipe, he slips, then someone drops on chair, water spits out of their mouth. You guys have seen these. You've seen these. You said someone gets hit by a bull, then you fall forward and you go like, hey, come to my taco stand. You've seen these. They're all over the place. But the Camino Real Chevrolet girls have three chicks who I'm assuming are Mexican. I don't know if they are Mexican. They definitely are Latina of some origin. I'm guessing Mexican because Camino Real is in California. And is that me being racist, saying that California has a bunch of Mexicans? No, that's just true. That's just true. And I think based on the type, I've watched some of their content, some of the Spanish they're speaking, I think they are Mexican. But these three chicks, I was confused at first because they're so hot. They're so hot, and this is how hot they are. I was telling my buddy, I'm like, oh, these Camino Real girls, they got me going. They're like peak office hot. And he looked at them and he went, they're not office hot. They're hot. And that's the fucking psyop that these chicks are running. That you look at them, and because they're wearing like a Chevrolet shirt with a collar, and they got these tight black skirts on, you go, this is office setting. And my brain goes, oh my God, I've been around chicks in an office. This is attainable puss. But it's really hot tier, high tier puss that is presenting as office puss to trick your soul into feeling like, maybe I could be next to a Camino Real Chevrolet girl. There's three of them. The three of them, and I did a whole deep dive on them. There's Sophie Guts. Sophie Guts, she's the tall one. She's the long one. She's lanky. She's got a lot of length to her. A lot of arms, a lot of legs, dude. Sophie. She does sports broadcasting. She's probably the skinniest. She's also a boxer. A lot of the content on her page is her just like beating pads, beating people up. Sophie, she's good comedically. She bounces off the other girls really well. Then you got Jessica Miquel Lopez. Jessica Miquel Lopez. She's on paper the hottest one. She's tiny, she's small, she's mousy, she's cute. She's like all funny and bubbly in her videos, which is like, oh, dude. That's what I'm telling you. They're psyop with like when a chick is like funny and comedic and also so cute, you go, oh, she's cool. I gotta hang out with this chick. Oh my God. I gotta get me a Camino Real girl. And that's the thing, is like, I don't know if this is actually moving units. If people are actually going in here and buying Chevrolets. I hope they are. I hope they are indeed moving units off of this. I hope people are buying Chevrolets because the content you're getting is so, it turns you on so much because these chicks are so fucking hot. But yeah, Jessica also wants to be an actress. Like I said, on paper, the hottest. But my favorite is Anna Valencina. Anna Valencina. She's like the meatiest one. You can tell she's a little older than the other ones. She's probably in her mid-30s. She's got the most tits, got the most ass, got the most beef to her. She's also got this, like, face that says, like, you know, I'm a good chick. You got to work to get me. But once you got me, this might be one of the greatest pussies of your life. This is like, I look through her page. She's already settled down. She's got a family. She's married. If you ever want to throw that away, for whatever chance this makes it back to Anna Valencina, if you ever want to throw that away and you're interested in moving into a studio apartment in New York City that has badass AC and the perfect amount of mold in the shower, it's waiting for you, honey. It's waiting for you. You can just ship on in. I won't stop you. But she's like the Anna Valencina. She's got one of those. There's the Celsius. There's the Celsius coming right up. She's got one of those big mouths. I love a big mouth on a chick. I love when they got like a big smile, big mouth, big jaw, big cabbage chomping jaw. She's got the thickness to her, meat on the thighs. Each one of these videos too, you can hear the clip clop of these girls walking in their high heels. It is like I said, a office hot psyop. The idea that these chicks these are just regular chicks you could run into at any fucking dealership makes them so much hotter, dude. It makes it so much hotter. It makes you want to buy a fucking Chevrolet. That's what it does. It makes you want to go into a Chevrolet dealership and jump into a fucking Chevrolet today. Today! The chance that some hot Latina chick is going to be there waiting for you. Maybe you get a 2-for-1. Maybe I whisk one of them off their feet and they come into the Chevrolet with me as we drive off into the sunset. We have beautiful little Mexican kids. God damn, dude. God damn. Makes me want to settle down. But yeah, none of these chicks. These chicks are like so hot that none of them should ever be working at a Chevrolet dealership. That's kind of the selling. Like, it's like all of you should be like on the front of a yacht, sun tanning, sipping on a margarita. That's it. Okay, what do we got next? What are we moving on to next? God. Oh yeah, and something I did want to bring up about Anna. Like I said, Jessica on paper, hottest one. She's the tiniest one. She's the youngest one. She's like, if you brought a chick like that around, I would be like, man, now you got to get her unlocked. Get a ring on that. And get her pregnant because that's like, that one could slip through your fingers. But Anna, who they said is my favorite, the oldest, the chunkiest, she's got the biggest following. So I think I am also amongst the public on this one. But that's actually what people want. People want like a thick lady that they can bring home. Something that gives them security, something you can hold on to, something that keeps you warm in the night, something you can cuddle up next to and be like, yo, it's cold in the winter. We don't got to turn on the heat. I got this thing right next to me. This lady with just a good sheet of body fat, evenly distributed really well, where it's still, you get a few ripples when she looks in different directions. You get one of those like little bloops, those bumps, those ridges that you kind of want to run your finger underneath. Give it a whiff. That's the kind of thing. That's what most people want. I mean, I think so. I could be completely wrong. Okay, guys. Those were the dark holes of culture and the dark holes of kind of what's popping in the news. These internet personalities, these Royale Camino Real Chevrolet girls. Yeah. Let's get into your dark holes. So I put up a thing on Instagram a little while ago because obviously it's like, how are we supposed to write? Oh, that's another thing you get with the Patreon is you get the opportunity to write in. Duh. You get the opportunity to write into the show. That's going to be exclusive to Patreon post this ep. I did it through Instagram before, because there was no eps. So I had to mine for this some of the way. We might do call-ins too. I'm not sure. I haven't decided on whether or not, because me reading can be painful for everyone listening. But if I read them beforehand, it's all right. But we might do call-ins just so we can hear like, oh, this person, blah, 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 blah. Tell me their whole story. Tell me what's going on in their life. And that's kind of interesting thing to do. I like that. But we got our first right in here. This is coming in from, I'm keeping this anonymous. A lot of you who wrote in asked to stay anonymous, which I'm fine with. If you don't want to get your personal business out there, which is like totally understandable, because I think based on what I have created and what you guys consume, we all understand that we're sick freaks and we're kind of hiding in the shadows. And this is my page, the Wet Hole Lover Gang, the whole sphere in general. And whole, I mean, whole is an HOLE, the whole sphere. We all know we get to be a little dirty and a little safe in this space. So we'll keep you on. So this is the write-in. About 2 years ago, I started dating a respectable, mentally stable, great job, very pretty blonde with huge tits, who has a very good relationship still with her still married mom and dad. See, I've already fucked up the reading. And a body count that I'm very confident I'm very confidently estimating is less than 1/10 of mine. Okay. Have you asked her? Have you broke that down? Have you popped that question? How many? When I'm with the chick, I'll pop it, but not in a way that's like, oh, like how many people? Because I think you guys know me. I don't really give it. I'm not gonna be like, what, you fucked 40 guys. I'm almost like, if a chick's like, yeah, I think it's like 40. I'm like, that's it? Those are all the numbers you've put up? You have a pussy. You can get dick any time of the day. You've only fucked 40 dudes? Come on, dude. Get out there and get fucking railed. What the fuck is this? Live your fucking life, dude. There might be an economic crash tomorrow. We could be eating other Americans in the streets, and you're going to go down with 40 dicks ever going in your puss? Come on. Weak life. Sometimes I did fuck this one chick who was like, I think it's like 500. And I was like, whoa, 500. My God. Even I was like taken aback a bit. She gave me chlamydia, which is like, of course. She tells you she fucked 500 dudes. You probably don't dive in unprotected. But I don't wear condoms. They're lame. Okay. So yeah, maybe you can pop that question. Get a confirmation on that. I'm estimating it's 1/10 of mine. I'm going to marry her one day, ... Have you put a ring on it yet, dude? I'm going to marry her one day. Don't let this one slip through your fingers. It sounds like this girl is amazing, but here's the kicker, because you're like, oh, is this guy's just bragging about bringing in some beautiful chick that he met somewhere? No, here's the kicker, guys. How do I get her to start licking my gooch, doing anal, and spitting in my mouth? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. How do we transition this beautiful blonde bombshell who had a good upbringing, a handful of cocks in her life, maybe one handful of cocks in her life, to start being a little bit of a whore? How do you get her to break the whoredom? And if you've been with her long enough that you're asking these questions, it sounds like she's not innately a whore, which is also good in its own way. But how do you make a housewife a whore, not turn a whore into a housewife? How do you flip the script? Well, first you gotta start slow. You can't just be like, hey, you don't start with anal. That's not where you start. You don't start with anal, dude. You don't be like, hey, can I put my dick in your ass? You maybe start with her licking your gooch. Maybe not even there. You might start, because I think it's a more dominant position, you start with being like, I want to play with your ass. What do you think about me playing with your ass? And maybe kind of like in the moment. You're hooking up. You're making out. You're fucking. You do like a little reach around. Do that thing. Go in like the cradle position. I don't know if you guys know, like where you're like kind of both on your side and you're kind of like, you're like holding her and you're like kind of, it's like you're cuddling, but your dick is up inside her. So you reach, and then you're gonna like kind of reach around the back, and then this way you can like kind of whisper in her ear. You got one arm free. You got this guy. Usually I'm on my left side. I don't know. That's why my left side's just the downside. That's just how I think it is. Because I guess my right guy is my dexterous guy. My left guy's actually stronger. He's physically stronger. I'm right-handed, so my left guy's the dexterity. So he's going to be, if you're fingering, you're poking holes, you want the dex guy. You don't want, like, untamed power just blasting into holes. No. You need the dex guy. So you get her on the side. You fucking get her close, and then you maybe, like, reach around and you go, like, hey, you want me to play with your ass? Yeah, you want me to play? Yeah, do you like that? And get, like, a little finger, make it wet. Get a little spit on there. Rim it like a glass. Ooh. And then start teasing it. Get the idea of ass play in her mind. Just start floating it in the space, in the ether, in a hot, sexy, juiced up environment. Start doing some new positions too. If you're only doing like doggy, fucking missionary, her on top, start flipping it around. Start doing that one where she's like kind of like half doggy. She's like on her side and like kind of looking back at you, but like one leg is straight out and like her pussy is like kind of like, how do I describe this? One knee, like if she's got one knee pulled up to her chest and then one leg straight out and she's laying on her front and then you're kind of like up on top of her and you got like a hand on kind of her back and hips and you're fucking her. Start doing shit like that. Start fucking standing up. Start fucking in the shower. Start experimenting in all these different places in ways where it's good. And then the ass stuff is going to come on the table. But even after you start rimming that ass and you start rubbing it, you don't go straight. You don't go straight into be like, we're doing anal now. Then you bring in the gooch. Then go, oh, what about my asshole? What about me over here? Get her. If she's already sucking your balls, easy transition to the gooch. And also the gooch isn't a crazy thing for a lady to explore. The ass, getting a chick to eat your ass, that's a big ask. It's a big thing. She might not be interested in eating your ass. And I don't know if that's what you want. You don't mention ass eating in here. You want her to start licking your gooch. The gooch could be enough for you. But hey, man, you know, today's gooch is tomorrow's asshole, you know? That's what they say. So you could start with her. If she's sucking your balls, be like, same thing. I want you to lick my gooch. You can say gooch, you can say taint. Be like, go a little lower, lick my gooch. And she's kind of like, what? If she's like, I don't want to eat your ass. No, don't go. No, not the ass. No, you're not eating my ass. Just lick the gooch. And then just her like getting the balls like up on her nose. Like she's wearing them like a nose strip. They're dropping to either side. And then she's just in there licking your gooch and then fucking pulling your dick. Shloop, shloop, shloop. You get her doing stuff like that. Next thing, ass is kind of on the table. Then when you're starting to slip some fingers in her ass and stuff like that, you can start poking and prodding around the area of anal. And then the rest is up to her, really. The rest is up to, like, if you set the stage of it being hot and being fun and being stimulating, and then the dick goes in the butt with, like, ample preamble and ample preparation and ample. I don't know. I'm bad with words. Enough to set up the stage so that when the dick goes in the butt, it's good and pleasurable. It's all up to her whether she likes it. Anal might never be on the table fully. Like some chicks, no on anal. Some chicks are all about anal. Some chicks walk around with butt plugs in at Disneyland. So you can't. It's kind of like it's a personal thing. But it sounds like this girl's very sweet, and you might have to just like warp her idea of. I don't know if warp her idea is the right way to put it, but you might just have to change her perspective a bit on how it can be. She might just see anal as this like super gross, any butt stuff is like super weird, and be like, no, it can be fun. It can be a good time. We can have fun. You can lick my gooch. But you might unlock a monster, dude. You might unlock an anal beast.
Can I grab that bag?
What's that bag? Oh, yeah. So there was a short interruption there, guys. Someone had left their bag in the studio and had to come grab it. So I can't remember exactly where it was at, but... Oh, so the anal beast. You might unlock an anal beast, dude. You might unlock a chick who's like... Like now she wants to do all sorts of ass stuff and put all sorts of stuff in her ass, and then poops ends up on your nice white linens and shit like that. That's also something you have to think about, is don't set this up in a scenario. If this is a nice, like... bring home to mom type chick. She cares about shit like nice linens and stuff like that. And if you introduce anal in a way that fucks up her hominess, she's gonna hate it. You gotta keep it clean. You gotta keep the anal sphere clean. And if it gets dirty, it has to be out of sight, out of mind. If you get poop on your finger, you can't be like, oh, fuck, there's poop, and then get poop on those nice linens. You gotta fucking keep it all out of sight, out of mind. All the poop, it has to be clean. Okay. Oh, I think we covered that. I think we got this guy. I won't say your name, but I think we helped you. I think we helped you. Okay, here we got another question of a sexual relationship dilemma. How do I get my girl to let me suck the cream pie out? Apparently Derek Jeter liked this. Derek Jeter liked a snowball. Which I thought snowballing was, I've heard this called, no, I think this is technically felching. I don't know if felching has to take place in the asshole. Because felching is when you, I know felching can be when you suck a liquid or eat something out of someone's asshole. But I think it also applies to the pussy. Whereas snowballing, I'm correct, my producer's letting me know that I'm correct. Snowballing is when you have, like, cum in your mouth and you spit it into someone else's mouth. So, you see girls snowball all the time in porno. Just come back and forth, some spit bubbles and stuff. That, I love that. I eat that up. If I'm watching a porno, a chick sucking a dick, and then you get a spit bubble, god damn, that's a thumbnail. Holy shit, put that on the thumbnail. I'm clicking every time, dude. But you want to be able to suck the cream pie out of your girl's pussy. Now, I wish I had a little bit of more information. There's the same way the other dude let me know the whole thing of like how long he's like thinks he's going to marry this girl, how her family situation and stuff. I wish I had more context into like how conservative your girl is. You're saying my girl, does this mean your girlfriend? Are you dating? Is this just some chick that you've been fucking regularly? I wish I had more information on this. Because then I could break it down a little bit easier. So for future write-ins, guys, give me details to what is going on in the situation so that I can help you in a more clear way. But I would say I think this is a just go for it. I think you just kind of like, you come in her pussy and then you like leap down and you suck the... I don't know. I've never done this. So, because I'm also thinking, like, what's her reaction going to be? And then what do you do? What are you doing? Are you swallowing your own cum? Is that what you're doing? Are you slurping down your own sauce, dude? Because I'm like, are you sucking up this cum? And then are you spitting it into her mouth? Because then maybe she doesn't want that. I'm like, what is the next step after this? If you're just swallowing it, if you go down and you slurp up your own cum and you just swallow it and just go, all right, well, you want to have a shower? Like, she's going to be shocked. She's going to be shocked. If the goal is to spit the cum in her mouth, you got to know that she wants that cum in her mouth. No, just doing it isn't the answer. I was wrong on that. I was wrong. You gotta, I think you kind of preamble it in the moment. I think you jizz in her puss, and then you go, I want to suck this cum out of your pussy. You tell her. Or you go, I'm gonna suck this cum out of your pussy. That's what you do. You go, I'm gonna suck this cum out of your pussy. And then she might be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Or she might be like, oh my God. The commanding of the bedroom, you can take something that's super gay and make it kind of straight. Also, it's your cum. You do whatever the fuck you want with it. But I think, what your goal is after you suck that cum out is a very important thing. Because are you just trying to eat your own cum? That could be very off-putting to this girl. She might not like that. This could change her. You do have to factor in that you wanting your cum in your mouth. For any other, even the reason of spitting it into her mouth, that's going to change her perception of you. So you have to be ready for that. You might want to have this talk beforehand. Be like, hey, what if I sucked cum out of your pussy? What do you think about that? Huh? You think that's a good idea? It's crazy, right? It's just something I thought of a little while ago. Like, maybe you drop it like that. Maybe it'd be a little playful conversation. I was just joking around. Maybe you guys watch porn together and you set up a porn type in a little thing where a dude doesn't go, what? People do that? That's crazy. Oh, that would be a very softball way to kind of get the idea flowing and then to get her genuine reaction. Yeah, we're to watch porn together and you're doing stuff and da-da-da-da-da. Also, that happens at the end of the porno, so you have to make sure that she, like, sees that part. You could be like, wait, let's skip to the end. I like the cum part. I like the cum part of the porno. And you see her get cum decided was like, see, you like that. That's the part that you like. Oh, yeah, we do that. You like that. And then the guy, you go, whoa. You go, what's your opinion on that? Huh? What's your opinion on a dude sucking cum out of the pussy? And then doing what the next step that you didn't give me any other steps. The next step's it's very important. Very important. Because you're just sitting there with cum in your mouth, dude. Just like, brr. Okay. So that would be my solution for that. Maybe try watching a porno together. This next one. Everyone's staying anonymous right now. I'm not going to blow up anyone's spot. If you're banging some dude's wife 3 to 5 times a week, is it getting too serious? Anonymous. Anonymous with a winky face. I don't know why the fuck you're winking at me, dude. Like, I think if you're banging anyone 3 to 5 times a week, anybody 3 to 5 times a week, people at home, anybody 3 to 5 times a week, you're pretty much in a relationship with this person. Like, if you do that for 1 week, if it's 1 week, and it's multiple weeks because you're saying 3 to 5, so it varies between this range. You're in a relationship. When's her husband fucking her is my question. She's fucking you 5 times a week? And then was she going home and getting plowed out by this guy after you leaving a nut in there? And then he's like dumping on top of the nut and getting your nut on his day. Is that what's going on? Is that part of the fantasy for her and for you? Do you like this whole cheating thing? Maybe the cheating makes it hotter. Also, that is, oh man, okay, I'm going off in too many directions here. Is it getting too serious? I would say, yeah. If you're trying to not have this turn into a thing where she's like, I want to leave my husband for you, then yeah, I would say you're starting to cross that threshold. If for 2 weeks in a row you fuck someone 4 times, let's drop it in the middle. 4 times, you fuck them 4 times, dude. There's been girls I've seen for like 2 months, and I've only fucked them 4 times because I see them so irregularly. And then even then, I'm like, they might be starting to, we're talking too much. Got to cut this off. Got to let it fucking only dust to the wind or whatever that song is. When Blue dies in Old School. God, that movie rules. But yeah, it's getting too serious, dude. And you got to think about what is why do you like fucking this chick? Is the hotness part of it for you that she is cheating on her husband? And that's what really is selling it for you? And maybe it's what's selling it for her too. It's why you're both jizzing super hard. If you take that element out of it and she goes, I want to be with you. And because it's all, so you're seeing each other only under these sneaky pretenses and slipping away and she's fucking deleting text messages, all that stuff, that fucking spy type shit you're doing, that Secret Service hiding information, hiding files. That makes it hot and fun, and it's like a side project. It's exciting. It's like me starting this podcast. You're like, oh, it's a whole new thing I get to explore. Yay. But then when you tie it down and it's real, and then she's like, oh, yeah, what do you want for lunch? That takes a lot of the spice out, dude. When a chick starts saying, what do you want for fucking lunch, takes the spice out. Oh, man, we have 5 minutes left, and I forgot there was something else I wanted to cover. So, yeah, I would say it is getting too serious. You have to definitely vocalize about, hey, we're keeping this just fucking, right? If that's where you want to keep it. I don't know. Do you want to steal this woman away from her men? But that's also a bad place to start a relationship. You don't start a relationship off of infidelity. Terrible move. So we're going to do a segment. I don't know if this is going to be a recurring segment, but we're going to be calling it, Keep It Thirsty. Maybe Hot and Thirsty. I'm thirsty. That's what it was. I'm thirsty. I got to remember all these things, guys. But so basically what I want to do is I want to put you guys on to some obscure hot chicks on the internet, because I feel like there's such an endless amount of hot pussy on the internet that kind of floats between, let's say, like 200K and like 30K followers on Instagram, which is like 200K is nothing to scoff at. But it's not like you're like what some chick who's got like 5 million followers. Yeah, we know. But there's a lot of hidden gems that got to get dug up. And I want you guys to know this part of the pod, it's not sponsored. These girls haven't reached out, be like, can I be on your podcast? No, these are just, I think you at home need to know about some of the secret puss you could be jerking off to. So one of them did reach out and did ask to be on the podcast. But this was a previous old podcast, and I actually haven't even responded to this message. But this is the only reason why I was like kind of brought on to this person. So this is Keep Chambers. I just want you to know there's no money exchange that happened here. No one has paid me to be promoted on this thing. This is all just my horniness brought to your ear holes, ladies and gentlemen at home. Okay, so this is Keep Chambers. Keep Chambers wrote out and said, would love to talk about raunchy things on your podcast one day if you'll have me. Now, Keep, I'm sure you were talking about my old podcast that I had with Melissa Song. Shout out to Melissa Song. Great person, great podcaster, great co-host. That's done. We don't do that pod anymore. That pod is done. And this is a solo pod, so you're not coming on here either. You're not coming on here. But I will say, Keep, she is hot. Now we're going to do a little breakdown of Keep Chambers, why she's so hot. For one, now these are just my proclivities, guys. These are the things I like. She's got big ass curly hair, like big flowy hair. You go to her hair, it's like, you know, it's thick. It would get like tangled, and she has to comb the fuck out of it. Combing her hair is a pain in the ass. It's red. Redhead's rare. Who doesn't fucking love a redhead, man? It's like when you fuck a redhead, you feel like you're fucking a unicorn. Like, this is a dying breed. There's only so many left. I fucked this girl with red pubes for a while. Oh my God, it was great. Every time I saw red pubes, it was like, can I keep one in a little jar? This is going to be an artifact one day. By the time I'm old and gray, there might not be any natural reds left, dude. To keep a red pube on your bookshelf, that's got to be good luck, rabbit's foot type shit. So she's got red hair. Big, big, big curly red hair. She's also got, now Keep, if this ever gets back to you, I don't want you to hear this and feel insecure, because I do mean this as a compliment. This is a compliment, what I'm about to say, and I mean this in a way that I find this very attractive. I can't remember what movie it said. Some movie talked about the nose-mouth triangle on a woman, the nose-mouth triangle. Her nose-mouth triangle, her nose and both mouth, very large. I like that. I like when a chick has a big nose and a big, like when she opens her mouth and laughs, you can like see back into her tonsils. That kind of shit. A lot of teeth in there. She's got a shark's amount of teeth in her head, big lips, big nose, she's got like a defined jawline, like a little bulb chin. I like that shit, dude. She's got a big mouth and nose. It's something that goes off in my head that's like, yeah, the same thing as that Camino Real chick. It's like, we're going to go into the winter. It's going to be cold. We're going to survive. We're going to boil a cabbage or a potato, and it's still going to be hard, and you're going to chomp right through it, and you're going to fucking get into the field and put a plow on your back and push the land, rip it up, and we're going to plant. You're going to give birth on a dirt floor. I'm going to start a life like that, and you're going to be fine. The next day you're walking, just carrying kids. That's what that big jaw says to me. Also, the kids that come out, they're not getting knocked out, dude. You got a big, chompy jaw kid. I don't want a kid with a weak jaw. I want a kid that's got a big, bulbous head. Like the Camino Real chick that I like, you're getting a boxer. She's going to make a little boxer, dude, with a big little Mexican boxer with his big head, can take over his career probably 200,000 headshots. Still get brain damage, but still fight, you know? That's what I want. That's what I need. But yeah, Keep, you got a big chompy jaw. You got a big mouth, big nose. And I like that. Like I said, don't hear this and go like, oh my God, that makes me feel weird. I like it a lot. It's very hot. There's also a video of her making a pizza. I think in my older years, I'm 32 now. Some people are going to scoff at that being old. But I'm now starting to shift into the area of my manhood where I'm like, yeah, I like that. A lady who can cook, I really fucking like that. I really fucking like that. There's something about a lady being like, hey, let me, I'm going to cook. Watch me make a pizza. Let me blah, blah, blah. That turns on this primal lizard brain activation where I go like, holy fuck, I have this vision of me like getting home from work. I'm wearing a suit. I got a suitcase. I put it down. I'm tired. I smell something come out of the kitchen. And I'm just like, oh yeah, you just sit down with a lady and she's got a platter made for you. There's all these different foods, things to eat. She goes, how was your day? Then you hear your little clip clop of your kids' feet upstairs. You got a 2-story home with 2 bedrooms and a well-kept lawn, and there's a lady just cooking for you in it. Stepford Wives type shit. Oh, fuck, that gets like my balls start pulsating when I think of that life now. I think it's just you start to get old. The idea of a lady just cooking for you and being like, here, I like, you need food in your belly, you need your balls drained. And then we're just gonna fucking hang out. God damn, dude. Video of all the content on Keith's page, the video of her making a pizza, most jerkable, I would say. But yeah, I wanted to cover that. Go jerk off to Keep Chambers, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first episode of the Dark Holes podcast. Remember, if you want more Dark Holes content, you can go check us out on Patreon. You're going to get an extra episode. You're going to get ad-free content. You're going to get access to the Discord, and you're going to get the ability to write into the show. For me, tour dates. If you want to come check me out, I'm going to be in Yonkers, New York, and I'm also that's on August 22nd. I'm going to be in Chicago, Tempe, and Tampa. Those are all the upcoming dates. Those are in Tempe. Is end of September. Chicago is the 7th and 8th of September, and Tampa is October 4th. So if you want to go check out me live, that's where you can come find me. Yeah, that's it. That's it for Dark Holes, guys.